I was born on the 10th of October 1968 in a small Swansea Valley village to a loving father, mother and an older sister. Then one day in July 1974, our world changed forever when my mother passed away suddenly, aged 32. I was 5-year-old. One of my only memories of my mother is walking to school one morning. I would have been 4, I guess. I still had my slippers on, you know, and there's a little lane down by the side of the house on the way to school. I remember her roaring with laughter, you know, nothing was a drama. I just went back to the house and changed the shoes. And that's the only memory I have. But it was on the way to school where I first felt these emotions of being different. You know, I had a Welsh name, I had a Welsh sounding name, I had a Welsh spelt name, when everybody else was Robert and Andrew and Stephen. I had thick curly hair, would you believe, back in the day. Again, made me stand out. I played football. I was left-footed, again, different. And of course, I didn't have a mother. So I felt that the whole school, going to school at those early age, I'm talking 5-year-old, I felt the whole school was looking at me. I felt isolated. I felt as if the eyes were on me. Clearly they weren't. But everything's magnified 100 times at that age. Every little thing now, which seems trivial now, then was a big deal. So I realised very early on that I was different. Most of my early and young life living with my grandparents predominantly. And they were wonderful people, both sets. But then we moved into step-family situation and all that entails. We moved areas, which was unusual at the time. So I had to move schools, new friendships. And I never felt accepted, never felt accepted there. And still don't to this day. It wasn't a great environment, if I'm being honest. Food wasn't great. There wasn't a lot of food. There wasn't a lot of love and attention in the house. Going around a friend's house, you know, to go and play football or whatever it was, coming home and no one there, and having to sit in a cold garage just to shelter until people come home. All these things at that age, massively impressionable, and again, just added to my feeling of being different, being isolated. And it's only now, 50 years later, that I'm able to talk about it. The feeling of isolation, the feeling of just have nowhere to turn, no one to talk to. I realised I was craving acceptance. I was trying to be accepted. I did everything I could to be accepted, to be part of groups and things. But in hindsight, that's not what I want. You know, I preferred to spend time by myself. I still do. Outwardly, I wanted to be part of something, but inwardly, I didn't. And the emotions that bring, to this day, they stay with me to this day. I would much rather be in my own company, which is ironic because during my working life, the only real skill I had was people skills, which is an irony in itself. But the emotions, feeling were that of isolation. And my shield was to try and impress people all the time, go out of my way to impress people. And in later years, you know, trying to be the big drinker was my way of that shield of trying to hide behind the fact that I craved, on one hand, I craved acceptance, I wanted to be part of something. But deep down, I know now, looking back, I didn't want to be, I still don't want to be. I want to be a solo thinker, I want to be alone in my thoughts, I want to be alone in what I do without the feeling the need and the pressure to conform. I've never wanted to conform, I've never conformed. And to that, I'm grateful, for that I really am grateful. It shapes you. I've got no time at all for pity, for self-pity. That goes back to those early days in school when I thought everybody was feeling sorry for me, and I really have a problem with it. I really can't do with it. I can't do with being fussed still to this day, 50 years later. In my coaching business now and in my working life previously, I couldn't deal with people that self-pity, that, oh, it's tough for me and I'm having it hard. You're not struggling half the time. It's just something you're attaching yourselves to. People that are really struggling don't tend to announce, don't tend to say that they're struggling. But it teaches you life as well. It teaches you that nothing matters really. We all get stressed about certain things, but we need to step away, step back and have a look at the situation from afar. And is it really a bigger deal as we making out at the time? Of course, It teaches you that time is the great currency. Time is it. Time is not an infinite resource, a finite resource. Time is something that is very precious, and without health, we really have nothing. We really have nothing. It doesn't matter what clothes you wear, what watch you wear. Health is absolutely everything. It's a cliche, but it's so true. But it's taught me as well that really life is just for living, and we are here to help people, and that's what I was put here to do. I believe I was put here to help people in my current business now, where I coach people and help people rediscover themselves, and for that I'm eternally grateful. It just teaches you that it's experiences and people are what's important. For me, my friendship circles is small. Family is everything. I want to make sure that they are looked after, and I want to say thank you as well to the people that have helped me do this today. This has been 54 years in the making. This has not been easy. I've held all this in for all that time, and it hasn't been easy. But I've been speaking to somebody who's allowed me to, and has brought this out, and I'm grateful for it, because this needed to come out. Personal level, this has needed to come out for me, and if you can help one person come to terms with stuff, then that's job done. I want people to know that even though we've all got a unique story, it needs to come out. It needs to come out. It can't be held in. It cannot be held in. Who you talk to, I don't know. But this for me is a great experience and a great way of getting my story out there, getting my feelings out there. It's not about me, it's about how I was feeling. And hopefully finally at 54 it can be put to rest.